Good morning, everybody. Roxanne is here again. And if you aren't aware, today is Thursday. It's 8 o'clock, 8:30. It's roughly 8:30 in the morning. And we are here at North Cascades Athletic Club for another awesome yoga class with me, Roxanne. I'm super excited about this class. I don't know. I just am. I spent last weekend doing some yoga trainings online. I took a yoga bar class and super stoked to share that class with you guys because it's something that you can do at home. And if you are interested, definitely leave a comment or say, hey, I would be interested in checking out a yoga bar class. And if you do say that you are interested, I will shoot you a private invite to a private group to do the class, my very first class together with me. So all you'll need is a chair and yourself. So, and some other things as well, but if you do decide that you want to check out a yoga bar class, I will definitely share that with you. I'm a little bit early, so I'm kind of just killing time so that we can let people have an opportunity to check in, to log on, to get their spaces set up, and just chat with you for a bit. The other class, so the yoga bar class was a one-day training. It was like all day, 10 hours on Zoom. So so over the course of 3 days, I spent a total of 30 hours on Zoom. So the first day was the yoga bar class, which if you're just tuning in, I was letting people know that if they're interested in checking out a yoga bar class, to comment below and I'll message you and we'll set up because my first one that I teach, I don't really want to go live and let everybody see it, but I'm definitely cool with like a small group joining in just to get some feedback and see what y'all think and to see if that's something that we want to add into the regular Yoga with Rox rotation. Okay, so I see some people are starting to tune in. I also wanted to remind you guys of the contest that North Cascades Athletic Club has going on right now. Tune into the video, watch the live video, and make comments throughout the video, or make a comment. And then after the two classes, or you can do whenever you want throughout the week, it would be cool if you all did it after each class. Post your favorite pose from the class and tag North Cascades Athletic Club. And for Roxanne's geeky self, I would totally love it if you shared why it was your favorite pose in the class. Because sometimes it helps me in developing the structure of the class. So anyway, I have a quick little reading I wanted to share with you guys before we started class to help us get in to setting our intention for our practice. And then I have another short one for us at the very end. And I'm reading it from a book called Heart Talk. And it's Poetic Wisdom for a Better Life by Cleo Wade. I highly recommend y'all get this. I've been reading through it all morning. And it just asked that a message come to me that would help you guys today in our practice together. So create your own finish lines. Let there be as many as you want, and let there be many. To know that you are a work in progress means to recognize that your goals are also works in progress. A friend of mine once said to me that there is no there, as in THERE or over there. It reminded me that every single day we are growing into who we will be tomorrow. Because we grow through so many stages and phases, it is important to consistently reset our goals so that they can grow with us. When we reset our goals, we allow for each one to flow into the next and connect with all phases of our life. Refresh your goals regularly and with intention. It will help you to stay connected and continuously motivated and inspired. So I just wanted to share that with you. Let it process however it does through our practice today. I'll just reread the first line. Create your own finish lines. Let there be as many as you want, and let there be many. Okay, next thing that we're gonna need today is either a yoga block or a towel, or I went and got this little ball to see how it works. It's okay, but it's a little bit slippery because what we're doing is we're using it to help us connect with that the root lock. So a yoga ball, if you have a yoga ball, even better, or if you have an exercise ball about this size, but you want it to be able to fit comfortably between your legs. Another option is to take a towel and just fold the towel up, and you can pick, this one wasn't the best choice, but you can just put it between, because you want it to be padded enough that you can feel when you're creating that Mula Bandha, that root lock. And then the other option, of course, is if you are lucky enough to have a yoga block, the yoga block between the legs. I kind of like the towel because it's a little softer. And if you have an actual yoga ball, that's even better because it's also a little softer. So anyway, let's get practicing together. If you're not already there, I'm going to start standing today, coming to the top of our mats in our standing mountain pose. Nice deep breath in through the nose as I spray relaxation into the room. Nice deep breath in through the nose. Just starting to build that foundation under our feet. Checking in, knowing and noticing and feeling the support beneath us. In a time where we all feel a little unsure. Maybe at the beginning of the year we set really ambitious goals and we're having to reevaluate. But just feeling that mat under our feet. Let's all roll the shoulders up and back and down. And then one more time, inhale, roll the shoulders up and back and down. Maybe just drop one ear towards the shoulder and then switch sides. Eyes can be closed or open. If our eyes are open, just finding a space, a spot to focus our gaze, whether it's down the tip of the nose or up towards the sky. And then just settling into that stance. Micro bend in the knees, so knees aren't locked back. So we have lots of engagement in the thighs and the hamstrings. Then we'll begin to move with the breath, inhaling, arms reaching up. Exhale, press the air back down. One more time, inhale, arms reach up. Press the air back down. We're just gonna bring the arms shoulder height, reach the arms out, parallel to the floor, palms facing down. And we're just gonna check in with the shoulders, roll those shoulders back and down. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose here, and then check in with the up and down of our shoulders. And if they're way up by your ears, go ahead and exhale and let the shoulders melt down and away. Feeling the shoulder blades hug into the back of our rib cage. And then we're gonna turn the palms up, fingertips to the shoulders. Now, if that is uncomfortable in your shoulders, you can definitely just interlace hands behind the head or have those fingertips on the shoulders, elbows, whatever height feels good in your body. We're just gonna take a nice big breath in. As we exhale, we're gonna twist to the right. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, twist to the right. Back to center. Left. And then we're just gonna go inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. As we're inhaling, lengthening through the spine, exhale, twisting to the right. We're pressing our right hip forward and then come back to center, because our hips are going to want to just go with the shoulders, because then we can twist really far. But we want to resist that and use a lot of that dynamic tension as we just continue going side to side. Whew. And then just find center hold here. Small little circles. Circles with the elbows. Going back and back and back. Feel the space between the shoulder blades compressing as we're rolling back and back. And now switch directions, so forward. Again, arms, even if the hands are behind the head, you can still do that motion. Or if we want a little bit more heat, we can take the hands out to the side, full extension. We're gonna get a lot more work in the deltoids. Maybe take palms up. And just notice how changing the direction of our hands changes how the feeling is in our arms. Switch directions again, going back. Make it a little bit bigger. Breathe. So we're gonna slowly make these circles bigger and bigger, just warming up the shoulders. Breathing. Really big circles. Reach and back. And then forward. Big circles forward. Just feeling in the shoulders, feeling that rotation. Not judging, just feeling and noticing. And then inhale, both arms reach up. Big open, big extension on the front of the body. And exhale, arms come back down by our sides. Standing mountain pose. Just notice how the shoulders feel, how the arms are feeling. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, soft knees, micro bend on the knees as we come forward, nice flat spine. Just first we're gonna start bringing the hands to the knees. We're gonna do a big fold, but then Roxanne realized we're not warm yet. So just holding here and just pressing the tailbone back so we get to keep that nice curve in the lower spine. If we have really tight hamstrings, we're not going to be able to get as much of that tailbone lift, but that's okay. We're just working on it, checking in with your body, feeling how it feels. Inhale, press through the heels, reach all the way up. As we exhale, we're going to step to the long edge of our mat, feet slightly wider than hips distance apart. Knees are rotating out and the toes follow. So just making sure knees are lined up with the toes. We find ourselves nice and long and tall, 5-pointed star. Nice long spine, shoulders down and away from the ears. Breathe. As we exhale, we're gonna lower. Just lower with the knees. Just lower, let the knees line with the toes. Imagine our backs against the wall, so we're lowering down the wall, back sliding down the wall as we come into this position. If we need to take wider feet apart, we can take the feet a little wider, but just keep the hips above the knees. So if you can get all the way down here, that's awesome, but we just want to stay up a little bit, higher than the knees. And we're just going to gently shift side to side. So extend one leg and bend the other, staying low as we glide side to side. Let's bring hands to hips. Whew, breathe. Keep the heart lifted, keeping the core engaged. Breathing. Hold center. Bring arms out to the side, elbows press into the rib cage, palms face the front. Really feel the back activate. And we're just gonna lift the left heel. Breathe, exhale, lower the left heel, lift the right heel. Exhale, lower the right heel. We're just gonna go side to side. Inhale, lift, and lower, and lift, and lower. Switching side to side, breathe. Now we're gonna float, both feet rooted down into the mat, elbows pressed in. Inhale, we're gonna straighten the legs, reach arms to the sky, 5-pointed star, inhale. Exhale, come back to that moonflower. Inhale, reach. Exhale, moonflower. Inhale, reach. Slow the breath down. See how slow we can let that exhale, how long we can let that exhale be. And let the breath lead the movement. Feeling the pause in each space between the inhale And the exhale. Two more. And exhale, arms down by our sides. Inhale, reach up, toes point forward, hands to the hips, reach the hearts forward as we fold. Nice big forward fold, nice flat spine. Knees bend as much as they need to let the head just hang. Oh, there goes my mama. Ooh. And we can shift side to side if it feels good. Or just stay in this fold. Press fingertips into the mat. Nice flat spine. Belly button pulling in and up. Shoulders down and away from the ears. We're going to take the right hand under the face, left hand to the left knee. Squat down a whole bunch. And we're going to take a nice big breath and lengthen out from the tailbone to the crown of the head. As we exhale, we're going to easy twist to the left side. Inhale, come back to center, fold. Oh yeah. And then again, squat down, length through the crown of the head and tail, left hand to the mat, right hand to the right knee. Exhale, twist. Inhale, back to center, fold. Straighten the legs as much as we can. And then sit again, hands to the knees, pressing ourselves back up, extend. Exhale, step the feet back together. Finding that towel or block or whatever it is that you're using, we're just gonna place that just above the knees. Find the fleshy part of the legs where it doesn't, where it feels okay on our bodies. Taking a nice deep breath in, feeling the heat that we just created in our hips. Standing mountain pose. So we're just gonna play for a moment with it now that the hips are warm with our pelvic tilt. So, and with that feeling of internal and external rotation. So when we have internal rotation, we're pressing the block back. When we have external rotation, the block goes forward and back and forward. And from the side, external rotation, internal rotation, external rotation, internal. So you can see how the block is moving. And my hips aren't going like this. Woo, look how much it's moving. But it's all in the hip. So external, internal, external. There's a little bit of pelvic tilt, but it's all mostly happening in the femur bone where it inserts into the socket. So we're gonna play with this in our chair pose. So feet hips distance apart, shoulders up and back and down. So we're just gonna find external rotation, big internal rotation, and then find the middle. That's our standing mountain pose position. And then see if you can pull the block up closer in towards the belly button. Now just take another nice deep breath in. Then as we exhale, we're gonna exhale all together. Feel the belly button as it's pressing. So we're exhaling, exhaling. Then all of a sudden we'll feel a little pull inside, which is the pelvic floor lifting up at the edge of that exhale. What? It's kind of, you're getting in. You might even feel it in the lower back as you're letting all that air in and squeezing and pressing. That's the Mula Bandha. So that root lock. So inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hips press back. Nice long spine. Sit back to our chair, squeezing that block together. From the side. So now in our chair pose, we're gonna play with that again. If I try to externally rotate my hips, just notice how it feels in the lower back. When I internally rotate, notice how that feels as well. So we don't want to get too far internally rotated because then we get this crazy lordosis, this big, huge curve in the lower spine. We want the natural curve, and we just want to feel rooted and solid in our stance, squeezing that block. And now we're just going to flow here. Inhale, arms reaching up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale to chair. Inhale, extend back up. Arms can move however it feels good in your body. Exhale to chair. Inhale, reach up. Exhale. Inhale, just noticing the block between the legs or the blanket or the ball. And breathe. And last chair hold here. Inhale, extended mountain. Exhale, arms down by your side, standing mountain pose. Let's take the block out. Keep it close. So just notice how now we really have to be aware of that feeling, because we can still do the same movement, that internal, external, internal, external. Same thing in our chair. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale, reach. Exhale, chair. Hands can come to heart center. Inhale, sweep arms up, stand. Exhale, back to chair, hands to heart center. Sweep and chair. Or if we want to keep arms extended, sweep arms back and up to stand, back and forward to sit. You decide what feels right in your body today, and breathe. Try to maintain that feeling between the knees, between the thighs. 2 more. One more. Extended mountain, reach to the sky. Exhale, arms down by your sides. Awesome. Standing mountain pose, top of our mats. 1 round of sun salutations, and then we're gonna build on. Standing mountain pose. Same in our standing mountain pose, we're finding that external rotation, internal rotation, find the center, then lift. Lifting the block up towards the belly button, even though the block's not there. If you want to practice with the block there, please, you're more than welcome to. 3 breaths each pose. Inhale, arms reach, extended mountain. Exhale, swan dive forward, nice flat spine. Whew. Bend the knees as much as we need to. Let the head just hang, maybe shake the head yes or no. Bending the knees a lot more if we need it. On our next inhale, halfway lift monkey pose, flattening the spine, pressing into the shins or tops of the thighs. Shoulders down and away from the ears, lengthening out through the crown of the head. So that same sensation in our hips. Internal rotation, this is what it would look like in the back. External rotation, pressing, opening the sit bones to the back of the mat. And just play with it here for those breaths. Internal rotation, external rotation. Thinking about that block or blanket being between our thighs. Exhale, hands all the way to the mat, stepping back to our plank. In plank, we can have both knees down, just one knee down, shoulders stacked over wrists. Trying to avoid sagging in the middle or being too far up in the back. So we're just pulling the core in so it feels like we're lifting ourselves with that belly button into that supported hollow body plank. On our next exhale, we're going to lower through chaturanga. Elbows brush the rib cage, lowering all the way down, toes pointing back. Squeeze the knees together, all of us together for cobra pose. Inhale, lift. So we're lifting with the muscles along the spine. We're not pressing into the mat. We're going to get there. Lifting, exhale, toes tuck, pressing up and back, downward facing dog. Alternate one heel pressed on the other into the mat. And then just find a static down dog here. Picture that block back between the thighs. And we're just going to externally rotate, internally rotate. External, internal. Take a breath. And just notice how it feels when we really externally rotate and how it feels when we really internally rotate. I got that backwards, but you get the idea. So in down dog, it's an internal rotation. So we're pressing the block to the back of the mat. Inhale, right leg extends. Straight back, keep the hips square to the mat. Root through that left foot. On our next exhale, we're going to step through high lunge. If the foot doesn't quite make it, we know what to do. Grab that ankle, pull it up. Finding that solid foundation, we can lower the back knee or keep it extended. Inhale, lift to our crescent. Breathe. Finding that pulling up. Now we're doing both internal and external rotation. So there's a little external rotation happening in this thigh and internal on the back thigh because the hips are going to want to open out to the side. So to keep them square, we internally rotate that back thigh and a little external rotation to keep that knee from collapsing in. Exhale, stepping forward, forward fold. Breathe. Chair pose. Extended mountain. Standing mountain. We're going to do the other side. Inhale, arms reach up. Eyes can be opened or closed. Find a fixed location to gaze if we keep our eyes open. Exhale, swan dive forward. I'm just paying particular attention in each pose. Am I internally rotating or externally rotating? Just feeling it, starting to feel it in our bodies. Inhale, halfway lift, monkey pose. Breathe. Exhale, hands all the way to the mat, stepping back to plank. Shifting our weight forward. Exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale, cobra or up dog. If up dog is in your practice, up dog is there for you. If not, stay with cobra. It's just as beautiful, it's just as beneficial. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe. Again, checking in. Is this an internal or an external rotation of my hips? I gave the answer away on the last round. Breathe. Inhale, left leg extends. Pressing back, finding strength, finding that foundation on the right leg. Exhale, we step through high lunge. Can lower that knee or keep the knee lifted. Inhale to our crescent. Arms extend. Squeeze. Breathe, shoulders dropping down and away from the ears. Exhale, shifting our weight forward, back foot stepping up, forward fold. Melting forward, maybe grab the elbows. Let it all go, let it out. Chair pose. Breathe. Shoulders down and away. Inhale, extended mountain. Exhale, standing mountain. I'm gonna add a little bit more heat in the body. Then we're gonna come down onto the mats for some floor work. Standing mountain pose. Try to just listen to the cueing rather than looking up at the screen if that's possible. I totally understand if you have to, but I just don't want anyone to start getting kinks in the neck. And I'll do my best to cue throughout all of these movements. Inhale, arms reach up overhead, extended mountain. Feet rooting down, micro bend in the knees. Find that pulling up through the midline, pulling the inner thighs up towards the belly button. Pushing our feet into the mat. Exhale, swan dive forward, nice flat spine, press the hips back, bend the knees as much as we need to, then just let the head hang. Tailbone, so this is an internal rotation. We're pressing the inner thighs to the back of the mat so that the tailbone can lift and we can get deeper into this forward fold. Let go. Woo! Feel it in the body. On next inhale, halfway lift, monkey pose. So in our monkey pose, we're going to imagine we're holding onto a tree branch with our right hand, and there's a banana bundle over there to the right underneath our right armpit that we want. So what we can do is imagine that arm's out, or if you want to, reach. Another option is keep that right arm connected and just reach across. But we're not reaching this way, we're not curving the spine, we're rotating. Woo. Come back to center, come back to that monkey. You decide, left arm extends. Now those bananas are underneath the left armpit and we can only reach it with our right arm. Reach. Woo. Remember, we're not twisting or curving the spine, we're rotating. Woo. Digestion. Come back to center. Monkey pose. Exhale, come all the way down, stepping back to plank. Whew. Down facing dog. Back to plank, floating back to our plank. And we're just going to use the core to float us back to down dog. Whew. Exhale, down dog. Use the core, pulling us forward into that plank. So you'll feel a difference when you're just using your muscles in your arms and legs to pull you forward and back, as opposed to using those core muscles to lift us up and back. You can even hear it in my voice. Core engagement as opposed to just flowing forward and then back. One more time, plank. And down dog. Coming back to that plank position, we're going to lower all the way down to the mat. Toes point back, shoulders roll back, squeeze the elbows in. We're going to add a little flow here. If you want to pause and look, I'll show you what it's going to look like. The only thing is when I press back to child's pose, imagine that my hips are all the way to my heels. So from our cobra, we're going to press up and back to child's pose. We're going to come forward, lower, little yoga push-up, and all the way back. Come back up, yoga push-up. What that means is that we're keeping elbows to the rib cage, my elbow armpit is facing forward, and it never faces inward. It's always facing forward. So we're just gonna do 3 more. Child's pose, flowing forward, little push-up. You go as low as your body allows you to go today. Maybe that's all the way down and back. Another way that this can look is you lower in full plank, down dog, full plank lower, down dog, full plank lower. Imagine I'm lowering, down dog. You do what's right in your body today, and we'll all meet. Let's do 3 more. 1, breathe. 2, whew. 3, child's pose. Just holding here, just letting everything reset. Maybe we stack the hands, let the forehead rest. Breathe and just let go. We're gonna come back to all 4s. Toes tuck, down facing dog. Yoga burpees. Keeping the heart rate up because we're about to totally go into relaxation. So from down dog, we're gonna step the right foot to the outside of the right hand, left foot to the outside of the left hand, come up. So from this position, feet can be pointing straight forward or slightly turned out. We're gonna reach up, lower, hands to the mat. See how my knees are opening out to the side. Step back and back to plank, down dog. Then step up and reach. Hands to the mat, step back to plank, hips lift, down dog. Step up to the outside, and reach. Options, step back, down dog, and hop forward with both feet. Step back, down dog, and hop forward. Land lightly if you're hopping, or just step, down dog, step forward, extend. Down, plank, down dog, wide step, extend. We're gonna do 2 more. Step, down dog, step, extend. Press the mat, step back to plank, down dog, and step, press. We're all gonna meet in down dog. Touch the mat, step back, down dog, child's pose. Knees to the mat, hips to heels. Just relax, breathe. Hopefully you took a break if you needed it. Let's come to all 4s. Bring the knees together. Just slink ourselves down onto the mat. Take a couple of breaths. Depending on where you are, you can just stack the hands, let the head rest on the hands. Continue to breathe. And then just bring hands to chest height. We're going to roll the shoulders back and down. If you need a few more breaths, please take them. Squeeze the knees together. If you need a cue, you can always bring your blanket or block between the thighs. Squeeze the thighs together, shoulders back and down.
using only the spinal muscles. So let's all take our hands to varying places on our hips. Shoulders roll back. And just using the spinal muscles to lift us up. Keep the tops of the feet rooted. So if the feet start to lift so we can get higher, we need to lower down a little bit more. So a lot of times we don't realize that when we're in this cobra pose, we're actually pressing a little bit into the mat. And that, it's okay, but we're really not helping ourselves. Even if our cobra looks like this and we're barely lifting off, that's better than pressing in and getting here and we have this big movement and it's really good, but we're missing the benefits of building that spinal strength, building those muscles to create that length and lift all at the same time. We spend so much of our time rounded forward. This is a great exercise to counterbalance. And then we're just gonna release down. That was a long time to hold it. Breathe. Then squeeze the towel again. Toes point back, shoulders roll back. This time we're gonna reach our hands like we're trying to reach our ankles. Lifting, lifting, lifting. And now if we want to, we can lift the feet, but squeeze that towel, squeeze the block. Whew. Lift, 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 and release. Let go. Same thing. We have options this time. You have the option, we're gonna go into bow pose. So we can grab one ankle and lift. We can even come onto our side and lift. So we get this really big extension here. It's a little bit easier sometimes. Or we can stay here. Another option is to use a strap around the feet. But anyway, if you do one side, do both sides. If you're gonna go into full bow, bending the knees towards the glutes, bring the feet up, and then gently, more gracefully than me, grab those ankles, then press into the hands, and breathe and lift. Woo! Big heart opener, squeeze your towel together. Whew. Whenever you're ready, release. If you've only done one side, go ahead and switch sides. If you're still in the pose, go ahead and start to release. And then we're gonna press back to child's pose. Take your time finishing up the pose for yourself. We're all gonna meet in all fours. Spinal balance. Actually, I lied. We have one more work pose that we're gonna do on each side. So we're gonna come back into our plank. We're gonna lower the left knee to the mat. Kicks down that foot out to the side. Bring the left hand right under the left shoulder. And we're gonna open to the side, supported side plank. So starting to build these oblique muscles, the strength on the sides, we're just gonna start to see how light we can make the left hand that's connected to the mat. And we're gonna slowly flow up into our gate pose. So this arm is reaching up, we're lengthening up. We're not necessarily going here It may feel good, but I promise you, we're gonna get more benefits. And also protecting the right knee, making sure there's still that micro bend. We're super active in the thighs and the calves. Pulling in and up. Thinking in my mind, is this internal or external rotation, or is it a combination? Exhale back to that supported side plank. Woo! Come back to our full plank. We're gonna switch sides. Right knee to the mat, kicks down the foot out. Right hand under the right shoulder, reaching up. Again, how light can I make my right hand fingertips? So just notice the muscles that are beginning to activate as I'm transitioning up and into gate pose. Woo. Again, protect that left leg, that left knee. So we're not locking that knee back, we're keeping that micro bend in the knee. Lengthening, exhale, come back to that supported side plank in control. Woo. Come back to plank. That was the last work. All fours. Child's pose if you want it. If you're in child's pose, meet us back into those all four position. Again, spinal balances. We're just gonna find our core connection. Imagine, so I don't know if this will even stay here. We'll try the block. So the block is a hot cup of tea on my lower back, filled to the brim. Inhale, reach the right arm straight out, overhead, and then back to the mat. Left hand reaches straight out and back to the mat. Now, if you notice that when you're reaching, your tea is all wobbly, see how my tea's wobbly? Then this is your spot to stay right now. But however, if your tea's stable and you're feeling very connected with the core and that root lock, then we can alternate. Right arm, left leg extends. Come back. Left arm, right leg extend. Come back to the mat. So just pressing straight out and straight forward. We're not lifting at all this way. It's going straight back and straight forward. And just alternating from one side to the other. One side. Exhale back to the mat. Now if you want to add a little bit more, inhale, extend. Exhale. Oh, there goes my tea. Knee to elbow, extend. Back to the mat. And switch sides. Inhale, extend. Exhale, elbow to knee. Extend. Back to the mat. Again, these are all options. None of it is required, although it's good to try. Whew. And one more time on the left side. So no matter where we are in our count and our rotation, just making sure we end on the left side. So I'm just gonna thread the needle. Left arm reaches out, reach under the right arm, get a nice shoulder stretch and a little twist in the spine. Breathe. And then just bring ourselves back up and switch sides. Right arm out, twist under the left. And come back up. We're gonna bring the legs around front, coming to a seated position. Bottoms of the feet together, butterfly pose. So heels are not all the way into the groin. They're just gently out away from the body because we're really focusing on, okay, think first, is this internal rotation or external rotation of my hips? we're gently getting an external rotation in the hips in this position. If you thought external rotation, yay! So sitting up tall and just exploring the body, exploring the hips. Maybe we want a little bit of a fold. Maybe we want to lean back. Just gently pressing the feet together and release. Press and release, depending on where you are, either seated, leaning back, even in your forward fold, and release. We're going to bring the knees together, coming into whichever version of boat pose works for you. So find that flat spot between the tailbone and the hip points and just lean back, nice long spine. So as far as going back, the only thing we need to think about is that the shoulders are just behind the tailbone. Sometimes we feel like we have to get all the way down here, and you can if that's in your range of motion right now, but all we have to do is get shoulders behind the tailbone, lengthening up, nice flat spine, knees squeezed together. We can stay right here. This is perfect, this is beautiful. Getting core work, building strength along the spine, building strength in our hip flexors and the inner thighs. If you want a little bit more, one foot could lift, maybe arms extend out, maybe both feet. You decide. And then we're just gonna release down onto our backs. Arms open out to the side. We created a lot of heat in our bodies today. We got our heart rates up. We did some yoga burpees. Let the knees open out to the side in that supine and that butterfly pose. So we're gonna do some hip lifts in this butterfly. So we're pressing the feet together. And you decide in your body, maybe this is it today. However, if you want to explore pressing, lifting the hips up. Whew, and then lower. If that feels good, there's no prize for doing this, but if it feels good, go ahead and do a couple more. Lift, breathe, feel open. Whew, and then release back down. And then one last time, if it's feeling good. If not, just stay in that supine butterfly. Woo. And release. Bring the knees together. And we're just gonna hug the knees into the chest and maybe just rock side to side. If you would like, Happy Baby is available as well. Bringing the elbows to the insides of the knees, grabbing the outside edges of the feet. We pull the knees down towards the mat. Shoulders relax down. Tailbone's gonna lift. See how high my tailbone is? But we're gonna wanna breathe that tailbone down. Pressing, pressing, pressing. So even though we're lowering the heart rate, we're getting relaxed, we're still working, pressing that tailbone down. Relax the shoulders. Relax the ears. Soften the face. Releasing the feet down to the mat. Just giving ourselves one last movement, whether we come back to a standing pose, just doing one of our favorite poses, one of our favorite movements today, or just listening to our bodies. What does my body want right now? Does it want more Happy Baby? Does it want a little twist? Before we start to go into relaxation, take some time now to honor what our body's asking for. Or maybe it's just ready to go right into relaxation, in which case definitely do that. Find your comfortable place. If you're lucky enough to have a weighted eye pillow as we're starting to settle into relaxation, that's a great great option for helping to tune things out of our space. I recommend putting it underneath your body somewhere, or even between the thighs, somewhere warm, so that it gets warm before you put it on your eyes. And as we're beginning, we should all start to settle into our relaxation pose. If we're on our backs, just bring the gaze up towards the ceiling, straight up from where we're laying. And then I want us to look side to side with the eyes. So look to the right, then look to the left, then try to look down at our knees, try to look up at our eyebrows, then look back at our knees. Now try to look at our nose, look to the right, look to the left, look down at our knees. So we're just moving the eyes, not the head. Look up at the eyebrows, looking at our nose, and then just look straight ahead. If you have that weighted eye pillow, go ahead and put that in place now. Start to take some nice, full, deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. If you worked up a pretty good sweat, I recommend taking a blanket or a towel and just putting it over the stomach, just to help hold on to some of that heat. Shoulders tuck under. Feel the back of the neck release down into the mat. And as we're settling in, taking a few breaths to reflect back on the reading that we had at the beginning of class about setting goals and setting our intentions, and having finish lines in multiple different places so we can celebrate more times than not. Oftentimes we only look at the end and we forget to celebrate the small victories from the start to the end, because there's so many that we experience even on our yoga practice. Forward folding, maybe some of us have never touched our toes before or even thought about bringing our head below our hearts. Some of us are experiencing new growth in our poses, maybe in our breath, or finding strength that we didn't know we had, or maybe we're finding that we're growing a little less strong in our poses because we're not practicing as often as we used to, or as active as we once were. And just being okay with it and just knowing that's where I'm right now. And just letting go of that judgment, just breathing and being. Let's slowly begin to move our fingers, wiggle our toes. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose, and this time we're going to exhale through the mouth. Then I want us to just bring our both hands to our navel, to our belly button. Before we come out of this relaxed position, gently bringing those hands to the belly. And I want us just to breathe into the belly space. I'm just going to breathe, nice big breath in, trying not to let the chest lift, just lifting the belly, just feeling that expand as we breathe in. almost like the chest sinks as we let the belly expand. And then let the exhale come, just letting the air flow out with no force, no effort, just letting it flow out of our bodies. And pull that belly button in, squeezing a little bit more, exhale. Then up, pressing into the diaphragm, letting go of even more of that breath. And then breathe again. Inhale, lifting the belly button. Imagining we have a big balloon inside of our bellies and we're trying to fill it up with air. So as we inhale, it expands and grows bigger. It grows bigger and bigger. And then just let it go. And gently drawing that left knee into the chest and the right knee. Just hugging from behind, the knees not on the shins. And gently rock side to side. If we want to, roll onto our sides. And then use that top leg as a lever, pressing ourselves up to a comfortable seat, or just gently rocking ourselves up to that comfortable seated position. Legs can be crossed, extended straight out. Taking a nice deep breath in, arms reach up overhead, letting the palms connect, exhaling, hands come to heart center. Eyes closed if it's comfortable, or just finding a soft gaze just past the point of our nose. What I lost and what I gained. And then I realized that to be more alive, I had to be less afraid. So I did it. I lost my fear and gained my whole life. Allowing today to be fearless. What does your day look like without fear? What are the words you are holding back because of fear? What are the dreams you are not making into reality because of fear? Free yourself of those fears. Give yourself a chance to see what you can really do. Even in this time when we're being asked to stay home, and things that our fears shifted quite a bit in our minds, whether we realize it or not. There's this underlying fear of the coronavirus, but doing our best to stay with our routines, to create ways to counter that fear in our bodies. And one of the things that you're doing right now is practicing yoga, which is a great way to release pent-up energy, to begin to focus on the breath, and to bring our awareness into the body, which helps to stimulate our immune system. One of the biggest benefits of yoga is it increases the lymphatic flow in our body. So all those compressive, those twisting movements, that's moving the lymphatic fluid through our bodies, which also helps to boost our immune system. So by making the choice to be here, you are making those decisions to step into those things that may be uncomfortable in our lives. And if you're new to yoga and if you're new to this practice, you could be experiencing some new awarenesses in your body that you've never had before, which is really, really magic. But all that to say, doing our best in this new unknown territory to re-establish routines, to find balance in our lives, to find the breath. When we find ourselves being really overwhelmed, just come back to that breath where we're filling up the belly and not letting the chest rise, just filling the belly, and then letting that exhale leave with a really long breath out. Thank you all for tuning in. I look forward to our next class together, and don't forget about the contest. You could earn a free a month gym membership, and also a one-on-one Zoom coaching session with me for yoga or whatever kind of movements you'd like to talk about. It would be specifically designed for you. But thank you so much, and I will see you all on Tuesday next week, 8:30 a.m. right here. Awesome. Thank you.